What is up, my brothers and sisters? So I was, you know, doing the usual, scrolling through YouTube and looking at videos, and uh, it appears Mr. Potato Head is JoJo Magoo is taking a vacation. Now, when I heard that, I automatically was like, "Oh man, he's going to his bunker." That's more like he's going to his bunker, right? I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Um, because if he's to take a vacation, if he's on vacation like everybody else, then that means returning back to work on Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday. I think, right? Like, isn't I'd have to check on that, but isn't Monday Memorial Day? Or is it this weekend? I can't remember. But either way, by the time he comes back from Memorial Weekend, it's already gonna be that's 27. Yeah, it'll be June 1st. Yeah, go figure. That sounds about right. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna sit this one out until, and then when I come back, hopefully it's solved, right? No, 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 Potato Head. When you come back, it'll be the date of the debt ceiling. Now, there's nothing to worry about. We all knew this was coming. I mean, look at them. There's not even an E for effort. I mean, it just doesn't seem that way. I mean, when you really look at it, it's like, man, these guys, and then it's like they BS'd the whole time. It's like almost like it's just like children fighting over a toy, right? And like one of the children has the toy and the other one wants to play with it. And then when the other one gets to play with it, the one who it belongs to is like, "Well, I don't want you to watch the movie with me then." And then he's like, "But I want to watch the movie." And he's like, "But you're playing with my toy." You know what I'm saying? It's like children going back and forth over something so non-important. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know, like they just can't agree on. And he's like, "But I want to watch the movie." He's like, "But you got to play with my toy." He's like, "Well, you don't get to watch cartoons with me then." Right? But why? Right? He's like, "I don't know." So it's like, because that's what it seemed like when it came to the fixing the debt ceiling. They're like, "Well, we don't want to do any talks unless they're willing to look at what we have," right? And he's like, "Well, but we don't want to have any talks unless you're willing to look at what we have." So it is really silly for something very important. You know, it's like they just have no E in effort, absolutely whatsoever. Just nothing, no effort put in whatsoever. So I can only assume that it's like, man, they never planned on fixing this thing, right? But apparently, when the first comes, time is not up. They have until like the 7th or so. So it's almost like having rent, right? And like you don't have the rent money and you get paid the week after rent is due. So your landlord is basically saying, that's fine as long as you plan on paying it. But I have to tell you, every day that you don't pay it is this much money tacked onto it. Does that make sense? Okay, okay, I'll have it next weekend. I'll have it next weekend. Just please don't serve me an eviction notice. No, I won't do that. You know? I'll be cordial, but, at the same time, I'm going to have to charge you. And you're like, that's fine too. So instead of paying this much for rent, it's going to be this much because we're going to tack on every day. Because that would be like living in a motel then, right? Like every day that you're here is just like we're charging by the day then, right? Plus what you owe. So when you think about it that way, it's like that's not a good outcome either because now you're paying more than what you have to, right? But we just don't have the funds, you know? 30 something trillion is not even like doable. There's no way. That's like one and the same as if I asked you for $50 one weekend and you gave me $50. I came back and I paid it, so we're under good terms, right? But then I asked you for $100 since I paid the 50, and you're like, that's a lot of money, right? And I'm like, please. And so you give me the $100, but then when it's time to pay you, I only give you 50. So I owe you $50. Now, that's fine. But then I ask you for another 100. So ultimately now I'm owing you 150. Then I only pay you $50. Now I owe you 100. We're kind of getting up there. Does this make sense? We're getting to the point where I don't make that much to pay you in full and I keep asking you for more money. This is called debt. And eventually, when I ask you for $1,000 and I've only paid you like $200, $300, like you're gonna cut me off, right? You're gonna be like, dude, you never paid back what you owed and you keep getting deeper. So I hope this makes sense because in all reality, that's what it's coming down to. This is how money works. And I can only borrow so much for so long and owe you so much until finally you just cut me off because you know that I'm never going to be able to pay you all that. Even if it was payments, right? Like it's going to take me a while. But I'm keep having to ask for more money because I'm dug a hole now, right? It just cannot be done. Now, even if they did fix it, like a lot of people are saying, well, if they don't fix the debt ceiling, we're going to have to default and nobody's going to get checks and food stamps and blah, blah, blah. But in all reality, I'm like, well, technically, isn't that what's going to happen if they do? Because they got to make some cuts. And when it comes to making some cuts, you're going to make sure your necessities or your important bills are paid first before you start going to use your party money, right? Like, technically us being the party money, right? The free money, right? The money that you just give people and use for whatever, right? So, ultimately they're going to be like, well, let us pay the bills first and we'll see what we have left over to give everyone else. And ultimately there is no money. There's no money. So, and when you think about it, it's like, man, everybody piggybacks off of us. The whole world, essentially. There's just no way. It's not doable. There's no way. We knew it was coming to this. And personally, I'd like, as harsh as it sounds, I think something that enslaves everyone and the rest of the world needs to be done with anyways. You know, this system is a beast system, and it works off of the pain of others in the world. It works off the pain of people, and that's an evil thing. I don't have an answer. I wish I did for society, but all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately, those good things are only for us because everyone else that runs off of this system is a slave, essentially. We've lived our lives like kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen. The water that you pee in is perhaps cleaner than some water that people have to drink. Okay? That is the pain of others. If it were up to me, I would take the tyrants of this world, take their wealth, and distribute it evenly. Because if that were to ever happen, everyone would be equal. Everyone would have a house, everyone would have a car, everyone would have health care, everyone would have everything they needed. Transportation, education, health care, something to eat. Everyone would be equal. If you were to take the money of the tyrants who don't deserve it in this world, it would solve everything. And it's as simple as that. But that would be like basically saying give up your pleasures so that other people can have the same. A lot of people don't want to give it up, but Creator's going to make us give it up. So, blessings and strength, my brothers and sisters. Just be ready for anything.